Hello and welcome to another episode of the BashTalk podcast. Today I've got a special podcast and it's with a lot of people, which is not something I normally do, but it's for a very, very good cause. So rather than me introducing everything and taking all, the attention away from it, I want my guests to introduce themselves one by one, starting from here.
Hi, I'm Achy. That's it really for me.
I'm Steven, known as Baldy Steve. Everyone knows me as.
And I'm Councillor Lubna. So I think a lot of people do know me, but I'm just here as one of the organisers helping.
Cool. Now, the reason you guys are all here today is because there is an event being organised called Bubbles in the Park. And before we go into what the event's about, we need to set some context. We need to go back a couple of weeks to a slightly grimmer time when, unfortunately, there was a lot of, let's just say, charged rhetoric and all sorts of horrible anti-immigrant kind of stuff going out and about throughout the UK. And the wider impact was there were places in the UK that were attacked, people were attacked, and it was all around horrible. Now, we're based in Burnley. You guys are all from Burnley and the surrounding areas. And you guys have, or one of you guys have, I'm not going to go into it just yet, have come up with a really good initiative and idea of maybe showcasing the opposite side of it, because there were people threatening to Burnley at that time as well. Townley Park, Thompson Park. Yeah. And you guys have basically come up with an idea where it's like, well, if everyone wants to organise, get together and cause a riot, then what's stopping people from getting together and doing something nice and positive? So one of you guys set us off. Who came up with the idea?
I think it was initially, before the idea came about, there was a lot of talk on social media. So me and Steve are on social media and we're both mutual friends on there. So there was a lot of racism that I was obviously opposed against and I'd comment on it, but so would Steve.
Mm-hmm.
So we were on the same page. We've always been on the same page. That's not an issue as long as we've known each other. But it was your voice is heard on social media.
Yeah,
that was our issue. So every time me and him spoke about something, he'd say something amazing, and it to be honest, it set the tone. Then sort of even for that moment that racism had died. Do you know what I mean? I was there opposing it in a certain way, trying to defend something that really shouldn't have been there in the first place, and trying to sort of make the tone a bit calmer and stop anything from happening. So, and then whatever I'd comment on or Steve'd comment on, and it changed my tone as well.
Okay.
I'd be like, it made me happy. Truthfully, it'd give me a bit of relief, thinking, you know what?
There's people
really
out
good
there
people
out
out there,
page.
yeah. And I know them good people. It's not like I don't know them good people, but because you're always seeing negative, the context of it is crazy on social media. You know how it works. Once they're behind a keyboard, they'll say anything, and then they're not interested in who it impacts or what comes of it.
Mm-hmm.
So when Steve was commenting on these quite positive, he was being really positive
Think
on
of
it.
that one where I said I'd leave my kids with you if I ever needed to.
There was more than enough comments. He said on a several basis.
Mm-hmm.
On a basis that made me step back and think, you know what, it isn't as bad as I feel it. Because you got to a point where you were thinking, is it going to be 2001 riots again?
Yeah,
That's what was creeping back into the scene. So then Steve contacted me. He tagged me in a post initially. We've had the conversation back and forth, even private messages and everything else. And then, if Steve wants to explain what he come up with at that point.
Do you want to know how I came up with it? Because that's embarrassing.
Hmm.
I have an epiphany in the morning when I'm having the morning thing, and I just thought to myself, this meeting was supposed to happen in Thompson Park, and I thought to myself, well, who's really going to turn up? It's going to be a lot of 17-year-old kids on their e-bikes, or a load of 45-year-old Burnley guys with tattoos on their legs going BFC. And I thought to myself, well, it's easy to stop this. It's absolutely simple. You get a load of big lads all facing them at the park, and then they're not going to start charging us. They're a bunch of wusses at the end of the day, so how can we stop these idiots from causing a riot? So I thought, get a load of big lads, get a text message out, let's go meet up at Thompson Park. And then I thought, well, I'm not a violent man, so I thought, how can I stop this from happening? Let's go and blow a load of bubbles in the faces. Stupid idea, it was just totally stupid. Anyway, while I was still sat there having my morning epiphany, it carried on for a while. I then thought to myself, what a brilliant idea, blowing bubbles in the park. It's all about the kids. Racism's taught, it's not something you're born with. I just thought to myself, let's just get everybody together before anything happens in this town, because I think the whole of England is looking at Burnley because we're known as a racist town. Yeah. And I thought to myself, we need to stop this from happening. So the best thing to stop it from happening is get the kids involved. And it's all about the kids. If you start getting kids having a picnic together, blowing bubbles together, playing together, they don't have a clue what racism is. Yeah. And my initial idea were, stop this, knock it on the head as quick as possible before any idiots throw the first slap or the first punch, because once that happens, it'll be a domino effect. Yeah. And the whole of England are watching Burnley. So I just thought, just get us on this as quick as possible. Get the kids in the park, and it's just all about kids. And that's kind of how the domino effects happened, and we've all been brought on board now. It's an amazing team what's happening.
So he's been very humble, because what he did is he put it out and went, this is probably a silly idea. That's what you were thinking.
Yeah, because I do have stupid ideas quite regularly.
He has amazing ideas.
Very regular.
he put it out on social media and went, this is probably a really silly idea, and everyone's probably going to laugh. What do you think about this? Them little girls that were tragically murdered, a way to remember them would be for kids to blow bubbles in the park, but also for all our diverse communities of Burnley to get together to show the rest of this country that we're not about this. And something as simple as that can be so beautiful if the right people see it and you have the right support and that domino effect he's talking about, it's so true, that ripples out into communities. So he is being humble. He put that out there and actually played it down, thinking, nobody's really gonna, and actually then was like, what? This is an amazing idea. Yeah. And luckily for me, I'm always like seeing whatever your communities are doing, and I'm so privileged and honoured that these guys started tagging me in it. And I thought, oh my God, this is a gem.
Because there was an initial date, wasn't there? And then there was a case of
so
council
what
or something.
happened was, the idea was a lot smaller than what it was now, what it is now. So we thought we'd just go and have a picnic in the park. Everybody turn up from different communities and we get on with it. Yeah. That's all we thought. So we got contacted by the park rangers and said, look, this can't go ahead. Somebody's reported it and we need to take measures. So we were deflated. That's the honest truth. We were really deflated. But the same day, they got in contact with us and said, look, can you come down and have a meeting? When we sat down, we had the meeting, they sort of took all that pressure off us by saying, look, we'll cover the insurance, we'll get PCSOs there, give it a bit of more security in the sense of, if anything goes wrong, then we're all covered. There's no issues there. So that was a real sense of relief, and I think from that point, the work started.
So when initially, at the first phase, so this is before the kind of conversation when they said you can't do it. So for that initial date, what was the initial kind of reception from people like at that point?
Oh, I was really surprised how good it was.
Huge.
I thought this is amazing.
I can't believe I've had an idea people like. That's shocking. It really is, because you knew my Facebook, it's all about taking the piss. And everybody's like, what a good idea. And I'm like, what?
He did say that.
He's one of the general.
Yeah. But we were, I don't want to say pleasantly surprised. I really was. Because a lot of the racism is really, it faces us. And, anybody of colour, anybody with a different religion, of what's not known in the UK. So for me then, to see hundreds of non-Muslims, and obviously Caucasian, white males, females, jumping on board on this idea.
Atheist, I don't believe in anything. I don't believe in anything. So to me, I have nothing to do with religion. This is just about people. It's about one race, one love, one race. I don't see races. I see cultures. Yes. Everyone's got a different culture. So I don't see a race. I don't believe in gods or anything like that. Yeah. So to me, it's just all about you as a human being and what you all like. So I don't really care about who you kneel in front of. It just turns out we're all the same people. We've all got the same goal. We've all got the same mindset. And we want to try and change the people who don't have the same mindset. which is quite a negative mindset than what we have.
See, what happens is you quickly forget how many good people there are here.
Yeah.
And when you start festering in them comments, and why are people saying this, and why they're saying that, and why they're doing that. So you start to get into your own bubble and your own mind, and you start to think, the wrong things about it. But then you soon wake up when there's not one, there's hundreds of people,
Thousands
saying, honestly, thousands saying, this is amazing idea, let's get on board. And the amount of private messages I got and Steve got, and there were so many
ones, but
you're going to get
them
that.
down straight
Yeah,
away with
very few though.
A little bit of sarcasm.
Yeah,
but I do.
Compared to the positive, it's a minute amount.
Minute negative. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that it really gave me an uplift, and that made me think, okay, I'm full on board. I need to. This is, like you say, for me, that's where the work started.
Okay.
Let's go and show what our community is. Not one community, it's all the communities together. And all of them have showed up. All of them have shown support through donations, through support, asking us what we can do, volunteers. It's non-stop. Even till today. It's not changed that, hasn't it, Steve?
Not at all.
Even after this, me and Steve are going to pick a donation up from a shop of drinks and whatnot. It's not stopped.
So tell now. So now we know that we've got everybody on board, and it's looking like everything's in place for it. What is the day planned to be like? Talk about like what the day is going to be, and who is kind of aiming for. So you got stuff for kids, adults, the whole bag.
I think it's at 12 o'clock. It's set for on Sunday, this Sunday 15th, from 12 till 4 p.m. The mayor is going to open the event. We've catered quite
a lot.
Yeah,
we've tried to make
a lot of food.
We thought we'll do the only event you can go to that's free.
And that was that's real
free as possible. Or if it's not free, it's going to be as cheap as possible for people, because everyone's skint. No one's got any money these days. So I just thought, how do we make this a day for everyone to remember? And it's just how to feed people, make it as free as possible.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been an event where it's free.
Yes.
And this is generally 90% of it is free. Face painting might charge a little bit, but we've kept everything as down as possible.
If you want to be totally transparent, there's one or two stalls there that are they've paid a donation towards the event. It's a tiny donation, but they will be selling like bubble tea. One's doing face painting. I think there's not that many more. Really.
Not really.
I'm not sure if there's a tombola or something. There was probably 4 or 5 stalls that are selling something, but that's it. But people have got a choice, because they're selling drinks. We've got drinks. We've got over 2,000 drinks free. Wow. Free of charge to anybody.
And I'm going to Kanju tomorrow to buy more. We're expecting a lot of people.
Yeah.
So it's free samosas, it's free pakora, it's free kebabs, it's free cakes baked by proper.
Sandwiches.
We've got 500 sandwiches to make tomorrow.
Wow.
Anyway, you can go and get free food.
Well, not me, my wife
food.
Roxanne's making. I'll give a shout out to Rox.
Oh yeah.
Well done.
You good?
I'll be honest with you.
She's just done 20 cakes as well in 2 hours.
She's a legend.
Steve's been like the face. Roxanne's been the work.
She's with.
That's the honest truth.
That's true. I'll give you that.
It is honestly.
give you that.
She
Roxanne is the other half.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
won't say better half, because
She's definitely the better half.
Yeah. But yeah, she's been on the phone every day, and I mean, with me back and forth nearly 20-30 times a day, we're organising things with her. She's making phone calls to other organisations
While she's doing a nursing degree and working nights.
Yeah.
So she's good at it.
Yeah,
she's good at it.
where you have to give it where it's due. She's actually gone above and beyond.
She has 5 kids, 6 kids.
We have 5 living with us, 7 altogether.
There you go.
Awesome. It's very stressful. I have my own business. She's a nurse. So it's quite busy.
Yeah.
We don't have any time to ourselves.
Yeah, sorry. So the day is I don't know if you know the park yourself, around the bandstand.
Yep.
We're gonna try and set up the food there. If people can come and try and take 1 item per person, it'll be ideal. Yeah. There'll be people giving them out. And then there'll be other businesses there who are giving free things out. They'll be promoting their own business, which is fine, but they're not making any money on that stall. It's free. Whatever they're giving away is free. Things like Park Lane hairdressers in Padiham, Achy, he's bringing food. He'll have a table full of food. Whether he'll have anything about his business there, I don't think he will. Truthfully, knowing Achy, that's how it is. And there's a few more businesses will be doing the same. Just giving the kids bits and bats of bubbles.
Yeah, this morning we had a brainwave that any leftover donation money we're going to give to the train guys. So the trains are going to be as free as possible. So we're going to give him X amount of money and just say, right, get as many kids on your train as possible. Because he loves the train.
I loved it. Other day.
A little smile.
Yeah. So on the Thompson Park, if people don't know, there's a miniature train that takes you around on a ride. So they normally charge £2 per ride. So they've agreed.
£1.
Is that all day?
All day.
So they've agreed to charge £1 now. So what we've done is we've got a little bit left aside. So we thought we'll pay £100 towards 100 children's rides.
That's nice.
For free. So the first come, first serve. What can we do? We can't. I know there's going to be a lot more kids than that, but we can only try our best.
Yeah.
And there'll be other few little perks here and
then
there.
your daughter's walking around with a pocket full of money.
So
we've kind of said if there's like some children who just look like they want something but they can't ask to pay. You know, some people a little bit strapped for cash.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a few kids. My daughters are doing it as well, Achy's daughter, and they're going to have a pocket full of pounds.
It's
and
about...
if they see a little child who's like, I want a face painting, but mummy said no, here's a couple of quid, go and get your face painted.
That's nice.
So we're going to do that as well. Little surprise going on there.
Yeah, sorry. Also, face painting will be charging £2. So yeah.
Not so surprising anymore, though.
Yes, sorry, I was saying face painting will only be charging £2.
Fine.
It's normally quite a lot more than that. There is a fair, hopefully attending the event. We've had a conversation with Simon Goff, which Lubna has as well. What's his position? So
basically, I wasn't saying anything because obviously I'm really interested in what the actual community people have got to say. But from a council point of view, I'm a councillor for Burnley.
Probably should have asked you to mention that at the start, shouldn't I?
I'm here in like 3 different capacities.
Yeah.
So I'm not really.
But she's been
just pretending to be.
She's also been a friend of mine for many years. Right. So regardless of the council.
But I'm a big supporter of anyone who's trying to spread one love and also peace.
Yeah.
It's such a universal thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if we're loving each other, being peaceful, come on, you've got to get behind that. But yeah, I just wanted to say, I'll let Achy finish and then maybe I could say a bit more about my role. But yeah, the council have been amazing. So they've waived all their fees because nobody's ever done anything like this. So the fairground person, I think he was at £5 a ride and he's doing a flat rate of £2 a ride, which you cannot ask for more than that.
That's awesome.
So this is why this event will then become free or virtually free. It's not expensive to attend at all. Sorry, actually, you can.
No. Obviously, that was again Lubna's phone call to certain people that made that happen, because by him paying a fee to be on that, he had to make some money. So by him now being waived, that fee's being waived, he can put that back into the community, which we're sort of grateful for now. Yeah. And we're grateful for all of it really, because without them park rangers and without the councillors, I'm going to be honest with you, being on board, it wouldn't have happened. That it would have been a real. We would have had to just go some derelict field or something and make it happen ourselves, and it wouldn't have been the same. But everybody's got on board. And yeah, we've had a few hiccups. I think the most recent one was we got a phone call from Environmental Health. Somebody made a phone call. Someone made a statement and wanted to report us. But thankfully, they contacted our caterers. They went through all the channels. They've okayed it now. I had one of the meetings with them yesterday, the day before, was it? And we spoke to everybody that was needed to be spoken to.
We had it covered, and it works out in our favour.
Yeah. So now that's all good. because it was a big panic by that point, because we've ordered thousands of samosas, not hundreds. So I was the panic was real. It was real.
I think the issue is like traditionally communities always feel like doors are closed on them. So when this event started, it felt like a closed door. If it wasn't thanks to Roxanne, Steven, Achy, me, and a few other people trying loads of different doors, going, hang on, we're not. You say you can't do it. Why and how? And the amount of conversations we've had and the amount of phone calls that each one. So if I'd done it alone, I wouldn't have got anywhere. If Steven had done it alone,
I wouldn't have done anything.
No. So I think it really is when great-minded. I was going to say great people, but that sounded really big-headed. No. Like-minded people get together. You can achieve something, and them doors start opening. And then no matter what's come after that, the only response we've got of, if it's officers, councillors, park rangers, not only did they help you, but they actually go above and beyond to make it better than what you even wanted. Which is amazing. Yeah. Because this was supposed to be hand your food out with somebody next to you right at the beginning, right?
Yes, it was.
It was simply come to a picnic and bring an extra plate. So my idea is bring an extra plate and pass your plate on to the neighbour, the person sat next to you. That opens a bridge of conversation, and that's when you can start talking about different ways of life and things. But now it's just turned into something completely stupid.
No, it's a massive party in the park from people of all walks of life. But I think the beautiful thing about it for me is the fact that them bubbles, it's that symbolism, isn't it? Kids are playing and they love bubbles anyway, but them 3 girls that have been tragically murdered, every single person is representing or remembering 100%. Them. And that symbolism, it speaks volumes, I think.
But you have to give a big shout out to this community. What they've donated, I mean, financially, and just in like people going and getting drinks and ringing us up saying we've got X amount of cases, come and get them, crisps, and some of the businesses.
I'm truly gobsmacked.
That
everybody has jumped on it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I can persuade a few people, and I think I've done all right. Not in that way.
Strong arm.
To be fair, I think you're being really humble, because I was going to say it does matter about anything that you're doing, the people behind it, how much, I always say people generally, they look at the person asking them the question.
And the love I've been shown and Steve's been shown, and it's like
everyone loves me anyway, so I'm used to that.
They really stood by us and said, look, what can we do?
And I think it's the friendships that we've built up over the 25, 30 years. I think from every walk of life that we've both had, and you just come on board, but from what me and Achy, everybody that we've kind of met along the way.
Oh, I'm joining your group now. I've
you're my sister now. I said this. You're my sister. I'm going around to your house with you and everything.
Excellent. Of course, I'll order from outside.
But it's kind of what I found is the friendships that we've made along the way are all more than willing, because we've been such nice people along the way. We've not really ruffled any feathers. I mean, you probably have.
But I mean,
it's the help we've had from lifelong friends is absolutely gobsmacking.
That's exactly.
When someone random like Marshall Stephen phones up and Laura just says, I want to donate X amount, you're like, really? You're a mate from years ago, and you literally want to give us a couple of £100. I will literally look at my phone nearly in tears reading that. Like, God, unbelievable.
I think one thing that I can probably pick up from this is that, so if you go back to before the idea came about, it's touching on what Achy was talking about before as well, where if you see the world through the lens of just social media, you're going to be screwed, because you just think it's doom and gloom.
Well, I came up with a good one, didn't I, when I had that first meeting? You look at me, you look typical racist. You look at Achy, typical terrorist. And luckily everyone laughed at that because it was funny, but it is. You look at me, skinhead, bodybuilder, tattoos everywhere, you think that guy, if he walked through this area, he wants a fight, he wants a scrap. Not at all, he could be further from truth. They're saying we actually don't want to blow nobody up. You know, John, I'm sorry, well, you know it. But he's not.
No,
it's the way, I'm saying it exactly how it looks. It looks like I'm a racist, he's a terrorist, and we couldn't be further from the truth. And every time I meet Lubna, I'm patting to see if she's got a vest on underneath there.
I haven't, promise.
But again,
he's right, it looks convincing.
That's what it's all about.
Even walking into this building, Steve may not have noticed, but I've seen how people looked at us together when me and him walking somewhere. It raises questions, and I don't understand why. It doesn't. It shouldn't. It literally shouldn't. But it doesn't make sense to some people. They're looking at us and they're really staring, like, what's going on? There's nothing going on. We're just friends walking into a building, and that's all it was.
Yeah. It's nice, but I think because one of the things that's going to be at the end of this, because effectively this is almost like it's a project in itself. All the work that you guys have done.
Yeah.
And at the end of every project, there's always like a kind of a wrap up. There's a conclusion. There's a takeaway, and I think, especially with some of the people that you're going to have a lot, hopefully have a lot of teenagers there. A lot of, basically the next generation, and a lot of the people in that age group are the ones that are going to be targets for either sides of extremists.
Yes.
So I think it's really good that you're going to be able to
But Bash, can I add here? When all this trouble started, I know these kids. What happened with the kids? Unreal. But the initial problem was it was a post shared by claiming someone was a Muslim of immigrant or whatever. So if you take it back now and see who's been arrested for that initial post, it's a woman. She's the CEO of a clothing brand in Cheshire, living the life, a millionaire who started this issue. So where did it fall upon? I didn't see any of them coming out of their houses rioting or protesting or anything like that. It wasn't the case. But now we've then got to think then, okay, but why is it happening in these smaller towns? Okay, I understand there's disparities and there's socio-economic problems.
And narrow-mindedness.
But that doesn't, do you understand? So that now we have to figure out the solution.
Yeah.
Not an issue of wrapping it up. This is, in mine and Steve's and Lubna's and the rest of the organisers, this is an annual thing. But even if it's not an annual thing, it'll be smaller. We'll take it to smaller communities and think, what, let's go and have a talk here. Let's have a chat. Yeah, but
I think it might be bigger.
Yeah, but I mean,
sorry, Rocks, next year it's going to be a big one.
Yeah, but in the sense of, look, we now need to target where it stems from and how do we get over that? Because we're the same people. We've grown up on the same streets. We've gone to the same places. We've entered the same place. We've gone out together. We've done these things. So why are we so different now? Why is it we can point the finger at him or they can point the finger at us? It doesn't make any sense to me at all, and it needs to be addressed. And I know there's up-team projects going on out there, but I'm not being funny. The people that we've put together on this team, Lubna would have never come across Steve. Yeah. She would have never been in the same room having a conversation about something like this. And I'm going to be honest here, I might be blowing my own trumpet a bit, but I like putting people together.
I would have never rubbed shoulders with a counsellor in my little circle.
Never.
I don't. I work, I've got my kids and I go to the gym. That's my life. So I personally would never have met a counsellor.
But I did say to Lubna, and I said to all the counsellors, I've got all your personal numbers. Well, why has somebody like Steve not got it? That's the honest truth.
You really don't want my number.
No, but why is he not? but why can he not easily access the people that are supposed to be representing us? And he can. Look, from our community, even what's he called, the MP, Oliver Ryan, he's reached out to us, first he and me, on several occasions. Give me his private number, anything you need, and he's made financial donations. Whatever you need, in that sense, give me. He messaged me again this afternoon, how he's looking forward to it and everything. So there must be a different way of looking at things, and that the fringe of the community that thinks, no, we have no access to these people, they don't represent us, that mindset needs to change as well.
Yeah,
because you do. What Lubna and them other councillors are doing now on this event, who do you think they're representing? All of us. And it's a serious conversation to be had. Why is it certain fringes allowed to speak to the councillors, have access to them 24 hours a day, which I do. Don't get me wrong, I've made it that way. I've interfered in things, and you know what I mean. I've got that conversation. I've got them people. Now it should be this. I'm going to be honest with you. Several years ago, I can't remember if you were on board. Afrasiab was on board. What's Afrasiab's role in the community?
At the moment, he's the leader of the council.
So he's the leader of council. So several years ago, I don't know if you know of an organisation called Church on the Street.
Yeah.
I know Church on the Street.
Church on the Street, Mick. it started with just giving him food and whatnot, and back and forth with the homeless. And we had some deep conversations. So I said, look, I then thought, I've got access to all these counsellors. Let's put this together. The same night, we put it together. They had a meeting all sat in the living room in Mick's house. The following Tuesday, it was brought up in the council offices, and he went. Quite a few of them went to get the initial funding for Church on the Street from that one meeting. So it does work.
Yeah,
it does help, and Mick will tell you herself how that now, what it is. Don't get me wrong, I don't take credit for that. He's all I've done is put someone together. That organisation is massive. It's huge, and it's helping so many people. But without somebody putting them two people together,
it would never have happened.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
So it needs to be more accessible. I know you've even Oliver Ryan, he's got his office open in Burnley now recently. That I don't think is enough. Genuinely do not think. They need to be on that personal level, talk to people, getting out there, coming into Jude Bar, coming into Stoops, coming into Padiham. Not when it's just a vote.
Maybe not Padiham.
Yeah.
He won't get out getting wheels on his car.
I think it's a good time for me to speak a little bit, just because we are touching on politics, the local government, and the role of a councillor. So my thing is, yes, everything that Achy is saying is 100% right about breaking down barriers, people's perceptions, and it's kind of something I wanted to say right at the beginning, but I didn't want to interrupt. I've got a really bad habit of interrupting people, so I don't want to interrupt anybody, not on a podcast. So what I was thinking was that it's very rare in this world that if you're showing goodness or kindness or respect, that you're not going to get that back. It's very rare. So it does happen. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but if you're showing it, usually if that's what you're putting out into the universe, that's what you're going to get back 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
And this event and everything that's surrounding it and happened, and if you look at it actually how it's come together in a really holistic way, that's exactly what it is.
Yes.
The people have gone, actually we're not that, we're about this, and then other people have fed into that because that's what you're showing them. And so in essence what you're doing is changing that narrative. When you're naughty.
That's at the ground knees. Yeah, sorry.
So when you're trying to do something like as an amazing project as this is, you're also teaching people while helping them in a lot of other ways. It's that community education, isn't it? So Achy was then talking about counsellors. Look, for many years people have been batting counsellors. We don't see them. They only come for votes, etc., etc., etc. I've been a counsellor for many years, and we do a ward walk every Sunday. And only because I have Facebook now do people know about it, because now I put it on.
Yeah.
And sometimes I wasn't putting it on because I felt a bit shy. I was like, I can't just keep on doing this. It feels so much like showmanship.
Yeah.
You make yourself cringe. You think every time I move, I've got to say, well, I've moved, and it doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
But then because you get sick of being battered down by communities, saying we never see you unless it's a vote. Recently, the local, it's embargoed at the moment, so I can't really say much, but we had a peer review at Burnley Council. So the bit that I can tell you is that we had this peer review at Burnley Council, and that is where your peers evaluate what you're doing. So somebody from Cambridge, Fenland, they came down to review what we were doing. And all of these themes were coming out, and so it's something I really strongly believe in. I am a counsellor for Bank Hall, but I work across loads of wards. I physically and in pictures on social media show that, but in real life I will take calls and casework from other wards. I'm not getting one vote from them wards. Never.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get a vote from there. I'm not doing it for a vote. I'm doing it because that's the right thing to do. So I come from a very small Pathan family, so it's a minority within a minority. On top of that, we were very well known. We're from the Valley of Swat, which is not where most Pathan people from Burnley are. They're from either Vaisab or Mardan. And so against that backdrop, when I became a counsellor, I thought, well, if you don't have a brotherhood behind you, if you don't have a brotherly system behind you, that basically means brotherhood. Or if you don't have people that don't worry.
I'm just nodding.
If you don't have that behind you, you then don't actually have an uncle to ring. I've got this problem, can you sort it out? Well, and that's why I became a councillor, because I was a nobody and I wanted to help all the people if they were pink, yellow, green, or purple. It didn't matter to me who they were, I wanted to help them. And so many years on, what I'm doing is, and with some amazing councillors, we're going out into different wards, we're changing that rhetoric, but people are now seeing it because of social media.
Yeah.
So if we'd done it in the past, it wouldn't have made a jot of difference, because people just say, what do? You only come for votes. There's no money in this job, but what there is a lot of satisfaction.
Yeah.
When these guys had this brilliant idea, that epiphany in the morning, Steve, and actually was like, this is a gem, and people started going, yeah, this is a gem. Buzz started being created. Park Rangers got involved. Things were shut down. Things were picked back up. Park Rangers went, actually, can we make it bigger? Can we make it better? Council officers, we could do this, we could do that. And they started creating something which is, in essence, basically a massive, it sounds weird, like a love festival. Everyone just love each other and accept each other and be kind to each other. This free thing came up from Achy's brain, because he's that free food, that to me equals love, which I think there's a lot of sense in. Because the people I'm speaking to, I'm saying to free food, they're like, actually free food.
Yeah.
Like, nobody can believe
it's free.
Nobody can believe that.
But
and that is off the back of all of what X, Y, Z, everybody pulling together has done. So it's a massive message to our communities. But also it's going to, hopefully, I'm touching wood, change that perception that, if I ask a councillor, or if I ask Burnley Council, or if I ask head of whatever department, it's not going to happen. They close the door. You now have councillors in place who will help you open them doors. This is a testimony to that.
Yeah.
The communities always had great ideas, because they live in the community. They're the ones that have to put up with the streets, the system, the lack of whatever it is. They go through that.
Yeah.
But it's for the people who are their voices to make sure that their voices are heard, right?
We don't have different problems, me and Steve.
Well,
Just
I've got arthritis in me, that's different. Totally different problem to you.
But we don't. The communities wise, we don't have different problems. So if we've got someone to address them, why not? That's all I was trying to get at that point. It is. It should be widely available, and it is though.
It is.
People don't understand that it is available.
Yeah, it is, but I wouldn't have known how to reach that.
That's my point.
I would not have a clue.
Yeah, that should be, understood.
So an area of focus. So, because I'll definitely drag you guys on like after it's all done and dusted, but I think one of the focus areas is accessibility of resources and all those things. I think that'll be interesting, when you, because I don't think this is the last time you're going to be doing this. So
No.
Well, the way that I saw it, when I was sat there doing my epiphany texting, I just thought to myself, I can't make this happen because I'm a nobody. I'm literally a nobody. I'm just a bloke.
That's exactly who makes
And then I thought to myself, it's a stupid idea. Let's have bubbles in the park and free food. And by meeting people like these two and everybody else in the group, it's become an actual reality where it is actually going to be free. And me on my own, I wouldn't have even been able to make a sandwich and sit in a park with a sandwich.
No, the thing is, what Steve's saying, me on my own, I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
None of us on our own would have achieved that. So yeah, but all this is on that day on that park. If someone can come up to Steve, our women, a lot of our women, Asian women, would have never spoke to anyone looking at Steve.
no chance.
I'm going to be straight.
And I would never have spoken to somebody like Lubna. No, who's wearing the headscarf. I wouldn't, out of respect.
You can't speak English, believe it or not.
The way that my mouth is, I personally would never have introduced myself to somebody like Lubna, because I think I'm going to offend this lady, because my gob is stupid.
But what happened?
The very first meeting we've had, I cracked the joke about racist and terrorist. Lubna weed herself. Next thing you know, we're outside the park and we're hugging. Do you know what I mean?
I was like, do you know what? You can.
But somebody like me would never have hugged somebody like Lubna. Do you know what I mean? It's brilliant how it's just bringing everybody together and opening
this is
those barriers.
That's what needs to happen on that day.
No hugging.
No, I mean in the sense of
I saw a t-shirt that says free hugs.
Free hugs.
Lots of party from wearing it.
that's what needs to happen. They need to know people like Steve are not scary, and vice versa.
Not scary at all.
Because they were, you know how it works. They'd cross the road if they saw Steve walking down the road.
Yeah.
That's the honest truth, Steve.
Absolutely.
And that needs to be stopped. That needs to be understood that this is not the way life is or what this country is about. So hopefully that will change on that day. That will have, even if it's for one person, we've achieved something.
Yeah, we
oh,
don't
that's-
want anybody
sounds good.
segregated. We want everybody to. We
That's
don't want
it.
like an area of Asian people, an area of white people. We want everyone. Literally, if I see that, I'm going to start booting people around.
I'm
the
going to
block.
stand in the middle of them.
Listen, little blonde, you're going to go and sit with the person with the full burqa on. Do you know what I mean? I want them all to and sit there and ask questions and say, why do you wear that?
Yeah. So that's the idea. Sorry, on the event, there's also going to be the talk table.
I'm barred from that.
Yeah, he's not allowed.
You can talk and understand.
Yeah.
He's been threatened with his own park for the day.
Yeah. So that the purpose of that is anybody can go and sit down. There'll be representatives from all different sort of cultures, backgrounds, faiths, and you can ask them anything you want. Take the mic or take whatever they're going to have on the table and ask what you want. If you're not going to ask, how are you going to know the answer to that question? You're going to fester, a narrative in your head.
It creates ignorance by not asking
Yeah,
questions.
you're going to believe something that's never been the truth. So now is your opportunity. If you, if you believe inside you're a racist or you've got something hate towards another, come and speak to somebody on that day.
Yeah, you can then pelt him with rotten tomatoes. No, I mean, you can chat to him. You can chat, of course. just
speak and say,
I think
what your concerns are.
Ignorance creates racism.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like one thing my dad taught me. He always said, if you ever see anybody different, he actually said to me, go and ask them. So even if it's a physical difference, somebody's got something wrong with them, go and ask them why. Say, why have you got a limp, or why have you got this? And it opens up that layer of conversation, and then you learn something as well. It's something to take away from a conversation. Then you've met a new friend. And it's something my dad told me. He says, ask the question. Go over there. If you see somebody different, ask them, why are you different? Why are you doing this, or why? What's wrong with you? And next thing you know, you've learned something. You're a bit more knowledgeable, and you've met a new friend.
So just to kind of round it off. I mean, I'm happy to say.
Because we're waffling, aren't we?
No.
He's right. We could literally sit here for
Yeah,
hours.
I'm comfy because I've literally hooked this up. This will record for about 20 hours. It'll go without even.
I just wanted to mention all the stuff that was there so that people know what's coming. That's all it was. I think you've got 3 or 4 ladies doing the henna.
There's
again,
mascots. There's
absolutely free.
Princess
all of it
is going to be there.
there's going to be
Make-A-Wish Foundation are going to be there with princesses.
There's
loads.
a performer. Is Sophie Scott still performing?
I think she's singing.
Yeah, she's singing. We've got another friend of ours. He's a priest, but he's a rapper.
Oh.
So he will be performing. I think he does a lot. He does some for the kids, some for the adults. It's kind of quite good, quite entertaining. So you've got, don't forget, the Asian drummers, Doll, the boys. They will be attending. So that's again a real mix of what this community is. We're just showing them what they are.
Yeah. You got the
the diversity.
Yeah, absolutely. That is literally what it is. Showing them what everybody else is.
Yeah. No. I mean, honestly, I'm really happy for you guys because I think one thing that. As I just started rounding off about the event is, I've noticed that this is a lot more grassroots because normally, like if I was to put myself in your shoes and said, all right, we need to organise something, I'm going to be honest with you. Obviously, everything we'd be talking about is positive and it's all been like happy because you guys have managed to make something and put something together. But one thing that would occur to me would be like, oh God, I'm going to have to get in touch with local charities. And then they have their own agendas, and some people, you're all nodding your heads because I mean, I don't necessarily want to drag the discussion down there, but you do find that maybe there's people within the organisation that say, well, I don't want to get involved if I don't get credit for something, whereas you guys has put something together where everyone's just in it.
Yeah,
you got the right intentions.
One love.
Yeah. If you want to go to that person and have a talk with them, if you want that stall, you go and speak to actually on your personal choice. It's not going to get thrown in your face.
Yeah.
There's no one stood there with a loudspeaker and a big poster going, "Come and talk to me. I want to throw this agenda down your face." They're going to be there, and it's up to you to go and speak to them if you want to speak to them.
Yeah. No.
But from your point, the vast majority of donations, for example, is not organisations. There's a small amount. I'm not going to disagree with that, but the vast majority is shop owners, businessmen, normal average
people,
person,
grassroots,
who works normal 9-to-5 job, donating.
That gobsmacked me.
That has been amazing. That has shown that's shown us that people really do care about this cause.
Yeah. So
I think it's the friends that we had along the way as
Yeah,
well.
there's no doubt whatsoever.
Oh, well,
yeah.
people normally say friends we made along the way when it's like the end of the journey, but I think this is just the start now, isn't it?
Yeah.
But now that we're kind of reaching towards the end time, we'll start from this side. Just give us some closing words that you want to share for the event, for community, anything that because people are going to be watching this on YouTube, like hopefully tonight. So if you want someone to like take anything away, what would it be?
Okay.
On the spot.
You know, I'm the best person to put on the spot because I'm usually really good under pressure. So don't worry. Basically, my message is really simple. I think I want people to come on Sunday the 15th from 12 till 4. I want them to bring their kids. There's going to be people from all different kinds of communities there. So the people that are coming, so I've got a stall on the day. I'm going to have Nigerian community, Pakistani community, inclusive of Pathan, and then a few other ethnicities like Bangladeshi community. So these people that are all coming just from my people, from one stall, and obviously white community as well. And that is just like a snapshot of the flavours of the people that we have in Burnley. It's a day for us to celebrate each other, to get to know each other, but also the key word here is have fun. And I know this is quite surreal because the blowing in the bubbles in the park, that symbolism is for something very sad. That 3 girls have been tragically murdered, and then obviously the backlash that this community has had. But ultimately, we want people to have fun. The whole work that's being done behind the scenes by the organisers and officers and councillors and park rangers, all of that was for people to come and have a fun time, to remember these girls, but also for them to know that Burnley was the place where we celebrated each other. We didn't sit there and say it's somebody else's problem. Why have you come in and said this to us? We've actually stood up for ourselves, and that's quite powerful. If it was done in the nicest way possible from 2 absolutely like hench bold guys, not actually, but do you know what I mean? You just think that for people like this, and then all the people in the background, because it's there's quite a lot of people that worked on it, but it's mainly these 2. Something so powerful, and actually, what is the powerful thing? We're having a picnic and we're blowing bubbles. That is quite
simple.
Yeah,
simple.
It is a very powerful. I think for me, it's probably one of the highlights of my tenure as a councillor.
Cool.
You get involved in a lot of things, but very rarely do you get involved in something that people are this passionate about, but also that is this important. It's so massively important.
Awesome. Those are good words. Over to you now.
To me,
follow that.
Sit back. Right?
I was born ready. Go on.
No, to me, it's really just all about the kids. We're old enough and stupid enough to make our own minds up. Kids aren't. Kids. There's a little thing where it says the children speak what the adults tell them to.
Yep.
So to me, because I've got 6 children, 7 sometimes at weekends, it depends who turns up at my house. It's just all about the kids, and to me, it's all about my child having fun with your children, and we just all have a damn good time. And we don't teach. We let them know that. I don't know what let them know. Just racism taught. It's not something you're born with. So to me, it's just all about I want my child to be running into the field with your child, all blowing bubbles and having a damn good time. And that's really the only thing that I want to get across.
Perfect. And I'm going to be an absolute bugger and warn you that battery's going to go in a minute. So over to you, Achy. I'm sorry about that. It's why I keep looking over thinking, God damn it, I knew I should have put that charger on. Sorry, go on.
Again, my view of the event is slightly different to Steve's. I want the adults to interact and to educate each other from all walks of life.
Yep.
And one thing I found from this, we've moved on since 2001.
Yeah.
We actually have.
If we hadn't, it would have already kicked off.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I think that's how we've moved on.
So what we want now is for everybody else to know we've moved on.
Perfect.
And that's all.
Perfect. Right. Well, I just want to say a huge thank you to you guys for coming. It was last minute and partially my fault that we're filming it now. Because obviously I kind of delayed you guys by a couple of days as well.
No, it's fine.
So the only thing I'm going to do, I'm going to try my best to get it out tonight. But I've got to... Your voice is powerful, so it's going to be like a spike with your voice the highest. So I need to get these guys pumped up as well, and then I'll
don't
get
worry
it all...
about this.
Everything actually does is powerful.
Turn that down.
Oh no, it's literally because of the distance of the mics. So I'll get it all engineered out tonight as soon as I can. But yeah, honestly, I really appreciate you guys
Oh
coming
no,
on.
really
Thank you so
appreciate
much,
it.
yeah.
But if you can get it out tonight, it'd be
Better.
a lot better because the
He's
events.
flying tomorrow.
No, because the event's on Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
So people
You can
people
share
might
it.
see that
Share.
and think, oh, brilliant! This is actually the event. A poster doesn't say much, does it?
To be honest, people have social media generation. They just flick through everything, don't they? They don't even look so
I think
perfect.
we've thrown it down the throats, haven't we? This last
Yeah.
couple of
Yeah,
weeks.
I think we do.
Yeah.
I think this next 2 days we do more. We need to do it. We need to do.
So I've got more.
No, because we're not catered for enough people.
Hey, they'll come as long as they
We
just
need to
come.
tone it down a bit. Don't come. Right? 2,000 people. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and be there in a media capacity if I can.
That'd be
I'll
brilliant.
try and get my gear. So I will be there, but how long I can stay depending on
No, that's fine.
that
As
other
long
thing
as
I
you
told you
come.
about. Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
The rest of it doesn't
Come at
matter.
first because then the stragglers will be waiting later on. We'll have to get them out at park at end.
Yes,
Not
turn
get
up.
gone. No more
I
cakes.
think at 12 o'clock you probably get not as many people. I think by 2
yeah.
o'clock you'll have the vast majority turn up.
Perfect.
So yeah, definitely come back.
Yeah. Can we hear kids? Is it me?
Yeah, I can hear kids. Yeah.
Why would you bring them here? Anyway, but yeah, if we yeah, so
He's a cool guy, right?
right, of all the places, this is a never mind.
But
So-
we're going to leave you as well. We've got a donation to pick up.
yeah. So on that note, wave to the cameras and let's call it a night.
Bye. I don't appreciate